But we also know that people want to have the ability to connect with something that is local to Oklahoma City. And so in working through that process, it's actually a really lengthy process to work through all the licensing and trademarking and all of the elements that go into that branding. And we had initiated it some time ago and have been working through focus groups and getting stakeholder and community input. And there was a moment we just kind of decided that making sure we got this right was more important than making sure we did it quickly. And so we just decided that we were going to push it out to 2025 in an effort to make sure when we unveil in 25, it's the one that we're really most confident in and happy to have.
Was there any specific reason, though, you just didn't keep the Dodgers until next year?
We had already initiated the process, and so we had worked with all the different stakeholders as it related to that and informed them that we wouldn't be playing as the Dodgers in 2024. So as that process just shook out, this was the best alternative for us to take and move forward.
What's the feedback been from fans?
We've had countless conversations that they're really excited about what the future can hold. And so that's certainly been encouraging. And I think in having a number of these conversations, what's also stood out to me is there were a number of people that they really enjoyed the Dodger connection and having. I know for I had family members, nephew and niece, like to know that you have that direct connection and understand where the players are going, I think is valuable. But one of the keystones of minor league baseball are all these unique names, and so knowing that we can have something that Oklahoma City controls and has as our own is going to be really important. And so I've discovered in some of these conversations that now people are saying, you know what, we want to get back to having something that's ours, that's unique. Especially when we can emphasize the Dodgers piece of this is going to remain the same. They're still going to provide all the talent here in Oklahoma City, and so as that is made clear, there's a lot of excitement about what the future can hold.
Do you expect to get really crazy unique with the name, or something simple like the 89ers used to be, or
stay tuned for 2025?
I mean, because you guys have been close to the vest in a lot of promotion stuff. You don't rebrand a lot to chicken wings and things like that. I mean, do you anticipate getting a little crazier? Or?
Well, it's going to be something that we know is going to be ours, and so we'll control all the IP. We have the ability to really manage how we're going to really put out the visual presentation of that brand. I think as the process continues, we'll be able to share more about what it's going to be and what level of wacky it's going to be. But we do feel confident it's something that's going to be representative of fun, and really we're eager to be able to get the information out there as soon as it's reasonable.
It's not as simple as going back to 89ers, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you have like a list of names that you've narrowed it down to, or do you already know it's just kind of waiting until you want to unveil it?
We started with a really lengthy list, and as I mentioned, we did some focus groups, we did a lot of internal brainstorming, and so there are I wouldn't even want to guess how many different iterations and options that there were on that list. We have narrowed it down because we have to activate the trademarking and licensing process, and so that some of those steps are in process. So we have whittled it from the larger list down to the short list.
From a merchandising standpoint, how have you've had the gear on sale now for a little bit. How's the sales doing?
Yeah, I think the measurement tool is really sales volume year to date, and so we're actually we're up considerably over this time last year and this time in 2022 and 21. So there has been a really positive reaction to the marks, to some of the elements that are new that we've introduced, as well as some of some of the throwback things that have been introduced. So overall, very positive.
You guys had 89er nights every Thursday, is that correct?
That's right.
Can you kind of explain that, kind of talk about that, or what people can expect from that?
Yeah, so the throwback element will. Our AJ, who leads our game presentation, he loves a theme. So having the ability to kind of reference some of the past and some of the history, I think will find its way into the game presentation. How we'll have the visual look of what's going on at the ballpark will also be unique and different as far as Thursdays goes compared to other days of the week. We're also going to have some sense of that on the city celebration nights with Sundays. So having those consistent promotions over the course of the season is something unique, and it's not been part of our promotional repertoire in recent years. And so we'll continue to kind of use it as a way to evolve and a Thursday in May is going to feel different than a Thursday in August, and AJ and his team, I think, will just continue to be creative with how they can present that throwback feel. Some of the, whether it's music, whether it's the visual presentation, the uniforms obviously are going to be different. So all of those will help enhance what that is as a promotion.
Just in terms of baseball, I imagine you guys have to be pretty excited with what the Dodgers have done this offseason, and the potential for some pretty star players to make some rehab starts here, and things like that.
The one thing that's been most consistent with our relationship with the Dodgers is they have talent. They invest in talent at the major league level, but along with that, at the minor league level, there's consistently really top tier talent coming through Oklahoma City, and so we're eager to see that again in terms of what some of those who some of those players will be. This early in spring training, it's always just hard to anticipate who's going to make it here in Oklahoma City and who's going to be elsewhere. But we do feel very confident that what was, I think, pretty evident last year was not only was there was just a lot of talent overall. There's a lot of youth, and with what the Dodgers did in terms of some of their free agent signings, I think it's going to really put some of that youth back here in Oklahoma City, and so we're excited overall when we get that at least a draft of the roster, and then ultimately see who's here for opening day on April 2nd. I think it'll be great for our fans to be able to see some of the best talent in the world.